Good day, everyone. I am Dianatina Penal, student from De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, taking up Bachelor of Physical Education. We are assigned to interview one of health teachers for our assessment and subject Technology for Teaching and Learning too. And today, we have a very special guest and we will interview her regarding the instructional materials that they are using in teaching health subject and how it affects the students' learning. Our guest is a teacher from De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, teaching music, arts, health, and physical education for years. Let us all welcome our special guest, Miss Chona Madlangsakay Manalo.
Good
Good day,
afternoon.
ma'am. Good
Good day
afternoon
po.
po.
Afternoon po.
In our interview po, we only have 3 questions. So I'll start na po.
Okay.
In teaching, not only in MAPE, but also in other subjects, we are required to use different instructional materials. So first question, what are the types of instructional materials that you used in teaching health subject?
Okay, so health subject is quite different with how we teach PE. But for me, mainly what I use as an instructional material is the health talk. I do most of my discussions talking to the students about the topic, lecture. Uh, when I do lectures, make sure that I try to involve the students in our conversation, ask them questions, clarification. So that's two. Number two. I also use group discussion because in group discussion, the students will really have different ideas, different views about the topic, but when they present it, you will get more ideas in that way. We also use demonstration. Okay. So in demonstration, in the use of the demonstration, you will see the other side of the student. You will discover something from them as they deliver their topic. Sometimes I also use role playing to challenge them to be creative, to get them to explore themselves about the topic that is being presented. Aside from role playing, it's very common for us to use printed materials. But I don't often use printed materials because they will focus more on that. Video presentation, sometimes I use that also. And I also ask my student as part of their assessment is about poster making. So somehow creativity of the students with regards to a certain topic will be shown when they have this poster making. So those are some of the instructional materials that I use in teaching health subject.
Thank you po, ma'am, for that information. Can I ask po, is it okay to use like situational for the students? Like, have you ever experienced or something like that?
It depends upon the topic that we have, but situational, a real situation is also being applied in my class. A real life situation, especially about talking about the community, their own practices. So that is part when we have the group discussion. It is being applied there.
Okay po. I will take note. I'm taking note of what you're saying and I have an idea about the future na po. So next question. How does instructional material help or affects students' learning?
With the use of the materials, it can be a way for the students to understand the lesson better. There is an easy grasp of knowledge, a clear understanding as to what is the topic all about. They can easily rely on or relate themselves to the topic when you use different instructional materials. But on the other side, when you use colorful materials, sometimes it can be a distraction. Or if you use materials that is quite attractive for them, sometimes they lose focus. The focus now is not on the topic but on the materials that you are presenting to them. So that's my take on it. That's how I see how we have to be very careful on the instructional materials that we are gonna be using for the classes that we have.
I totally agree with that po, ma'am. Especially me as a student nowadays. Sometimes I was distracted by the instructional material on it. Okay, our last question po. Do you have any suggestions for the best learning materials that we can use for health lessons that can make them more enjoyable and interesting?
The best IM that you can use will depend upon the type of students that you have. Sometimes this particular IM is well taken by this class, but you apply it to the next class, it's quite different. So again, like in the PE class, it will depend upon the type of students that you have. So practice multidisciplinary approach. So you don't stick with just one IM. You really have to know your students before applying to them what particular IM they can easily learn. So don't stick to one. Explore the different IMs, and really you have to know your students first as to what is most applicable to them. What is the IM that they can easily learn from you?
I agree with that po, ma'am, because some students has different types of learning way, like some are for the audiovisual, some are for just verbal discussion. I agree with that po, ma'am. And the thing that caught my attention po talaga was your answer in the first question, because it's helpful and I have understanding about my professors nowadays that they are using their IMs depending on our capability. Thank you for that po, ma'am.
Sampo.
And thank you for taking time with me virtually po. It was great learning more about the importance of these instructional materials po. Thank you, and I hope I can apply it again in the future po, ma'am.
You will. As you know your students, you will be able to apply everything. You just get to know them better.
Thank you so much po, ma'am.